Hey guys, it's day 2 of my 1000 juggle challenge for the remainder of the World Cup. So unfortunately, the US lost their game against Turkiye last night, 3-2, and the goal was scored in the very last moments of the game. And I wasn't planning on getting to it yet because I was going to wait until a little bit later when, my own skills have gotten a little bit better. But one of the things that I always have players do when they're doing this kind of a juggle thing where it's like, all right, your number is 1,000, and that's what my number is for right now. Generally, what I'll have them do is, unless they're a real beginner, is, okay, what's your number minimum? Okay, so are you counting by 10s? Are you counting by 20s? Are you counting by 50s, 100s, 500s? You only count if you get 1,000 straight. Now, I'm obviously not doing that yet, but it will be something I introduce later. But the reason why I bring it up is because of the fact that what that thing does, what putting that number count on there is, if you're counting by 20s, if you get 19 juggles in a row and you drop it, that doesn't count for anything. And then if you get 100 or in 5, that counts as 100 because you're counting by 20s. You got 5 of your 20s in a row. That extra 5 doesn't count for anything. So ultimately, the idea is that you're putting focus onto the task for a certain amount of time. All right. And that's exactly what it is with the game that happened last night. Is you're never going to know, and it played out exactly how you would expect, or not how you would expect, but you never know if the first minute or the 90th minute or the 99th minute is going to be the most important minute of the game. All right. Just like the juggles, you've got to put as much focus into number 1 versus number 20 versus number 100 versus 1,000, et cetera, et cetera. If you put those constraints on yourself that you need to get this number done, it requires focus for the entire time. Same thing in a game. You don't know when that moment of focus is going to be required. And unfortunately, the U.S. fell apart in the last moments of the game. Now, you can say, okay, well, the game doesn't matter and all of that stuff. But ultimately, this is something that played out in real life that I was going to talk about at some point. So brought it up today. All right. I still believe in the U.S. I still think that they're going to do great in the knockout stages. But this was a great time to mention this. So I'm going to jump into my 1,000 juggles. And I'm not putting the limits on myself just yet, but I'll do that in the future. Whew. Halfway there, 5:08. Whew. 6 minutes and 40 seconds in, not bad. Legs are definitely tired, a little bit sore from yesterday, but it's all right. I haven't used these muscles in a while. All right. Okay, 1,000 in 14:02. So I dropped a minute and change off of my time from yesterday. Not the time and speed are really the point, but it's just a metric. In theory, I don't know whether or not anybody's, if you want to me to send you the slowed down video of me doing the full 14 minutes, you're more than welcome to it. But I put it in 20 times speed just in order to not have you look at every single thing. But what I noticed is I had several runs of, 25, 40, 60, 80. I even had one that was, I think, more than 100. I'm almost positive. So as I get closer to putting, you know, limits on myself where I need to get a certain number in order for it to count, right now, based on where I'm at, I would probably put that number at around 50, because of the fact that that would have ended up being, you know, a challenge. It would have been difficult for me to get to 50, but at the same time, it's not impossible. And the other piece to this that I was thinking about throughout the entire exercise was, when I would get my long runs, it's because I was on the ball. I was focused on the ball. That was the only thing inside of my mind. I almost got into a trance at one point where I'm looking at the ball and focusing. And we need to realize that focus is almost like a muscle. It's one of those things that you need to work out all the time in order for it to get better. And we've got so many distractions. I've got a camera that's just filming me, and I'm thinking about what I'm doing on the film, at the video as we're going. So, you know, it's easy to get yourself distracted, and, you know, I can get myself into that mode for sure with something like juggling, but it's just, we are in an era where distraction is like the norm. So building up that muscle of focus is just that much more important. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video, or this inspires you a little bit to get out there and get some touches on the ball, get out and do your run, get out and do your lift. Whatever it is that you didn't do yet today, you got to know that I am out here, 50 years old. I don't have a team to make. I am just out here to try and give you a little bit of encouragement, motivation, a little bit of modeling, a little bit of mentoring, and I hope you have a great day.